see if I can do this. Yep. Bob mowed this much. That represents a particular value, this many yards. But instead of like a numerical value, we have an expression that represents that quantity. On Monday, and then 4x minus 7 on Tuesday, and 3x squared plus 10 on Wednesday. How many yards did he mow in 3 days? So we would have to add all these expressions. So I'll do it over here. So if we're adding this expression, I'm going to leave them in parentheses. In parentheses, so it's 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. And then to add, I'm going to add this, right? So I'll put it in parentheses because I'll just put it in parentheses. And then finally, the last expression. Now, although I put them in parentheses, it was in a way unnecessary because we're adding them, right? If we're adding them, so again, think about what happens when our job right now is to remove the parentheses before I can combine the like terms, right? So I pretend there's a 1 here, there's a 1 here, and there's a 1 here, right? Now, if I multiply that 1 times all these terms inside the parentheses, you'll notice that I'm going to get the exact same terms with the exact same signs, right? Positive and a positive and a negative. And then this one over here, if I multiply that times 4x and then times minus 7, I'm going to get exactly the same thing because it's a positive times a positive. And then a positive times a negative. So again, notice that the terms inside the parentheses and the terms outside the parentheses are exactly the same because we're multiplying by 1, right? Positive 1. And then last, the same thing. 1 times 3x squared is positive plus 3x squared, and 1 times 10 is positive times a positive 10. So notice that although I did initially put the parentheses, I didn't have to. Okay, I didn't have to because you'll notice that when I remove the parentheses, right, they all come exactly the same. No signs are changed, so everything's the same. So now I get to combine like terms. Well, it's this guy over here with this guy, so they're both positive, so that's 5x squared. So the x's, so I have a 5x plus 4x, and that gives me positive 9x, right, because it was positive. And this I have to be careful, it's minus 3 and minus 7, which is negative 10, which I'm going to add 10, that's going to be just 0, right? So if you were to add how many yards he mowed Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, this would be his value. Okay, so it's an expression that represents, right? So we don't know what x is, but if I told you that x was 3, we would substitute and we would get a value. Now, I know that this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So I'm going to need that information for question 2. So it says there for the whole week, he mowed this much. So how many more yards did he mow during the rest of the week? Well, we know that the total for the week, so this is the whole week. For the total week, he mowed this many yards. If we subtract this by however many, by the value, by how many he mowed on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, obviously whatever left over would be the Thursday, Friday amount, right? So from the total that he mowed the whole week, we're going to subtract Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So, and what's important here, I mean, it's not the combined like terms, but what's really important here is how you set up the problem. So, again, I'm going to put in parentheses. So this is how much he mowed for the whole week, this quantity, represented by the expression. And then from that amount, I want to subtract this, right? The total that he mowed on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So now there's a huge, huge difference of writing it like this or like this. If we put it in parentheses, then it's correct because we're subtracting this expression. 5x plus 9x is being subtracted from 14x squared plus 12x minus 3. If you don't put parentheses, the only thing that you're subtracting is this. Okay, and notice that when we remove the parentheses, the terms inside the parentheses are going to come out looking a little bit different. So, first step, set up your expression. Put parentheses, right, around your expression that represents one the whole week and the other one represents Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to remove the parentheses, right, and make an adjustments that are necessary depending on what is outside the parentheses. In this case, this is a positive 1. This one's a negative 1. Well, positive 1, nothing happens, so everybody stays the same. Now, here, it's -1, so we're going to have to make adjustments. Well, it is almost the same terms, but with their signs, with opposite signs. So instead of 5x squared, we're going to write minus 5x squared. And instead of 9x, we're going to write minus 9x. Now combine like terms. 14x squared and minus 5x squared is 9x squared. Positive 12x minus 9x is positive 3x. And then just minus 3x. So how much did he mow for the rest of the week? So this is the amount for Thursday and Friday. Although I don't know if he counts. No, he doesn't count Saturday, so Sunday. So that would be Thursday and Friday. Okay. 2. Again, the purpose of this, the questions and the exercise is really more of you knowing how to set up the expression and then add or subtract, right? Because that's where we have to be careful. Because combined like terms, it's not really much to do there. So Molly has this amount, this much money, represented by the expression 4x plus 10, the sum of those two terms. And Ron has 20 minus 5x. Okay. So how much money do they have altogether? Well, it would be this amount plus this amount. And now, again, we're going to combine like terms, so I can remove the parentheses. Everything's the same because in front of both parentheses there's a positive, invisible positive one, so nothing's going to change. Combine like terms, so 4x and minus 5x, careful. It's going to be minus x, and 10 plus 20 is 30. So that's how much money they have together. Okay. The second question says, how much more money does Molly have? So apparently Molly has, so we know that this is the greater value, right? We don't know how much it is, but we know it's the greater value. So to find out how much more she has, to find out how much more money you have than a friend who has less amount than you do, all you got to do is subtract. And here's, again, that part we have to be really careful. This is how much Molly has. And from that, we're going to subtract whatever Ron has. And Ron has this amount, which obviously we have to put it in parentheses. Let's remove the parentheses. Well, 4x plus 10 will come out exactly the same. But here, right, if you imagine a minus 1 here being multiplied by each of the terms inside, we're going to get negative 20. And then negative times a positive is negative times a negative is a positive. Combine like terms, 4x and 5x is 9x. And 10 minus negative 20 is minus 10. So this is how much more money Molly has. Three, Ross has this many tickets for Chuck E. Cheese. He's going to play today and wants to buy a prize that is 15x plus 1 tickets. How many tickets must he win to have enough tickets to buy the prize? So let me change this to a number. So Ronnie has 4 tickets. And he wants to buy a prize, and I'm making this up. Let me just change the question. That's the prize is, you need 20 tickets to win that prize. So how many more tickets does he have to win in order to get that prize? Well, if this was the question, well, the prize is 20 tickets. He has 4. So subtract, he needs 16 more tickets. Right? That's what we're doing here. So it's the same thing, except that we don't have standard number. We have an expression representing the number of tickets. So this is how much the price costs. 15x plus 1 tickets. If we subtract whatever Roz has, the difference is going to be how many more he needs to get today playing the games in order to be able to buy that, get the prize. So 15x plus 1, nothing changes here. There's a positive 1 if you just want to think about it that way. Subtraction, right? There's a minus, and if you imagine again a negative 1 here, everybody's going to come out looking the opposite. So 8x is going to be negative 8x, and negative 5 becomes plus 5. Combine like terms, 15x minus 8x is 7x, and then plus 1 plus 5 is plus 6. So this is how many more tickets he needs. This is how many more tickets he needs in order to get his prize. 4, find the perimeter of, okay, so find the perimeter is just adding, right, all the sides. So the triangle will be x. And again, although we don't need it, and you probably can skip this step, right, it's this side plus this side, which is represented by 3 minus 2x plus 7 plus y, which represents on the other side. Because we're adding, I really didn't need to do that, you know, so I could have just written like this. Like terms, x and minus x, and minus 2x is x, negative x, plus 3 and plus 7, oh, let me put that, plus 10, and then plus y, alphabetically. So this represents the perimeter of the triangle. The square, well, perimeter is all the sides, right? This plus this, plus this, plus this. We can add them, or better yet, we can use this 3 property here, multiply the whole thing by 4, and we get 16z plus 12, which is the same thing. Yeah. Again, this one we're adding, so let's just add all the sides. 2a plus 3ab plus 4a squared. Again, you could have put in parentheses, but because we're adding, right, you don't have to worry about that. And then finally, plus 6b squared minus 5ab. Okay. Combine like terms, let's do the a squared. So we have an a squared here and an a squared here, positive. So that's 6a squared. We have a b squared. Yeah, we do. We have 2 over here. 6 and a 3. So that's going to give me 9b squared. And then this term with 3ab and minus 5ab is going to give it negative 2ab. Oops, there's more. Okay, so again, I want to save a little bit of time here. So if I'm adding, I'm going to add like terms. So pretend there's a plus here, plus, 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 plus. Like terms 3x minus 2x and 5x, positive 5x. So that's going to be 5, 6, 11, 9x, right? 5 plus 3 is 8 plus 3 is 11. Minus 2 is 9x. Oops, sorry, there's another one. I forgot about this one. Minus 2x. So it's 5, 8, 11 minus 4, which is 7. So this should be 7x. Sorry. What is that, minus 4? Yeah, it's minus 4. So again, minus 4 plus 7 plus 5 plus 7. So we have 14 plus 5 is 19 minus 8 plus 11. Okay. All right, I won't be lazy anymore. I'll actually write the whole thing. So again, the rectangle, 7x plus 3. You can multiply by 2 and then plus 2 times 5x minus 2, right? Or you can do 7x plus 3 plus 7x plus 3 plus 5x minus 2 plus 5x minus 2. It's up to you. 14x plus 6 plus 10x plus minus 4. Combine like terms. This and this becomes 24x. Positive 6 minus 4 becomes plus 2. Last one is a triangle, as isosceles. Sorry, equilateral triangle. Multiply by 3. Or just add them. We get 9a minus 3b. Find the area of the rectangle. So this rectangle has width and base of that. So we know that area triangle is base times height. We're just going to multiply this side times this side. So I'll put it like this. Right? And that's going to give me 15x minus 25y plus 30. And that expression represents the area of the rectangle. Okay? All right, find another area of another rectangle where the base is width is 7 and the length is 6x minus 7. So again, a rectangle is base times height, length times width, whatever you want to call it. So One is 7, the other one is 6x minus 7. And if you expand this, you get 42x minus 49. Now it's a triangle. Now, triangle is a half a rectangle, right? So I like base times height divided by 2. You can do half times base times height. It's however you choose it. Okay, so let's write this. Area equals base, which is 12 times the height, 5a plus 7 divided by 2. What we can do here is, before you even do the distributive property, you can simplify the 12 and the 6, because aren't these being multiplied? So I can simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So now, instead of using the factor 12, you can use the factor 6 and multiply by every term inside the parentheses, and I would get 38 plus 42b. There's another triangle. Height is 8, and the base is that much. So again, remember triangle, base times height divided by 2. So if I substitute here, I'm going to get 6y squared plus 5y minus 2 times the height 8. But instead of, well, I can put the 8 here in the corner, and I divide that by 2, right? So again, just like I did with the previous problem, I am going to simplify the 8 and the 2. Right, 2 divided by 2 is 1, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So all I have to do is do the distributive property with the 4 and every term inside the parentheses. So 4 times 6 is 24y squared. 4 times 5 is plus 20y. And lastly, 4 times that minus negative 2 there is going to give me negative 8. Okay. Now again, did we have to multiply? I don't know if anybody's thinking of that right now. Could I have just left it as 4, 6y squared plus 5y minus 2? I guess you could have, but let's work on that one. Okay. And we have a couple more. Find the missing something. Triangle has a perimeter, okay, and has sides 3, 8, 8. Okay, so we want to find the missing side. So obviously, right, so imagine you had a triangle, and I told you the perimeter is 12, and this is 3, and this is 5. Can you find the missing number? Well, that would be easy. You do 12 minus 3 minus 5, and the difference here, whatever's left over, will be the missing side. So the idea is the same. 10a plus 3b plus 12 represents the perimeter of my whole triangle. And from that, I'm going to subtract the first side, which again, you have to put it in parentheses. And then I'm also going to subtract the other one. Okay, so that's how we would set it up. Now we remove the parentheses. The first one stays as it is, right? Nothing changes. Now the second here, that minus sign is going to change everything inside. So that's going to be minus 3a, minus 8. And the last one as well, everybody inside the parentheses will come out the opposite. So it's going to be minus 5a minus b. Now we can combine like terms. The a's, 10a minus 3a minus 5a, it's going to leave me with 2a. B's plus 3b and minus b is going to be plus 2b. And then 12 minus 8 is going to be 4, plus 4. So that missing side, that's the value. Next one is the same thing. Perimeter, total perimeter is 7x minus 2y plus 15, to which we're going to subtract those two values. So 7x minus 2y plus 15. And from that I'm going to subtract, right? I'm going to subtract the 5x plus y. And I'm going to subtract the other side. So that's the setup. We're going to then obviously remove the parentheses, make the changes, and then subtract. Combine like terms, I should say. So we're going to get 7x minus 2y plus 15. That minus sign changes everybody here. So it's minus 5x minus y minus 7 and minus x. Combine like terms. 7x with minus 5x, and minus x is 6x is just x. Minus 2y minus y is minus 3y. And then 15 minus 7 is just positive 8. Ta-da. What is this? Number 8. A rectangle has a rough fine. Okay. Oh, okay. A little bit trickier. Same idea. I know this is 3x plus 4, so I know this is 3x plus 4. So they're asking what is obviously the other missing side. So from our full perimeter, right, they give us, if I add all 4 sides, I get 10x plus 18. But from that, I'm going to subtract. So agree with me that 3x plus 4, obviously if I add another or multiply by 2, I get 6x plus 8. So this plus this is 6x plus 8 represents the sum of the 2 sides that I know. So from my full perimeter, I'm going to subtract 3x plus 4 minus 3x plus 4, or if you want to have less terms, you can write 6x plus 8. So let's subtract that. That comes out the same. The 6x is going to be minus 6x, and then the 8 is going to be minus 8. If I combine like terms, I get 10x minus 6x, which is 4x. And then 18 minus 8 is, what's that? Positive 10. Now I'm going to have to divide that by 2. So this 4x plus 10, by the way, represents that side and that side. So I'm going to cut that in half. So how do I divide that? I have to divide this first term by 2 and the second term by 2. 4x, well, you can tell that, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2, so it's 2x. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So this side over here is 2x plus 5. And this side is 2x plus 5. Okay. 9 is the same idea, right? So we have a rectangle. The width is 3x squared plus 4x, which means this is also 3x squared plus 4x. They're asking you, what is this side? What is that side? So, and the full perimeter is this. So let's subtract. So let's go 8x squared plus 10x minus 6. From that, I'm going to subtract. Instead of writing 3x squared plus 4x plus minus 3x squared plus 4x, let me just combine these two. If I combine these two, I get 6x squared plus 8x. So minus 6x squared plus 8x. Well, let's take the parentheses out first. So that one, nothing changes. But this one, everybody changes. X squared, 8, so 8x squared minus 6x is 2x squared. 10x minus 8x is 2x, so positive 2x. And then just minus 6. So this represents this missing side. So let me make it even less confusing for you guys. That represents this side and represents that side. I'll erase this guy over here. Right? So the sum of these two missing sides that I don't know the value is equal to 2x squared plus 2x minus 6. But because they're opposites, right? It's a rectangle. Each side has the exact same value as the other one. We're going to divide that by 2, and if I divide that by 2, I get the measurement of the length. So take that expression, and I want you to divide each term by 2. That by 2, that by 2, that by 2. If I divide by 2, I get x squared plus this again becomes x, because 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 1 times x is just 1. And then finally 6 minus 2 is 3. So I know that this side over here is x squared plus x minus 3, and this side is x squared plus x minus 3. And the last question, I think, yay, square. If it's a square, we know all the sides measure the same. So they're telling me that if I add this side plus this side plus this side plus this side, I get 32 AB minus 12. So what I have to do, I have to divide that by 4. So we're going to do that. So 38b minus 12, and we're going to divide each time by 4. Divide that by 4. And divide that by 4. If I divide that by 4, 32 divided by 4 is 8. Don't forget the AB. Minus 12 divided by 4, which is 3. So this is 8ab minus 3. This is 8ab minus 3. And this is 8ab minus 3. And it makes sense, because if I were to ask you to combine, to add all four sides, would we get 38ab minus 12? Yes, we would.